Hey guys, ArtisanYumi, ready to give you that old razzle dazzle. So, the last time I made a video, I talked about what I was doing last year in 2019, and I didn't really get to talking about my artist journey. I'm going to do that in this video. Before we start, you guys know that I will be doing speed paints in the background of these videos that I'll be talking about. For the most part, they're vlogs, they're whatever, just call them what you will. But a little bit of a notice, not safe for work art coming up in this video. I think I have like breasts or something showing here. So yeah, no kids, basically. No kids. I don't want to get killed by cop or some shit, basically. So let's begin. I have been an artist for as long as I can remember. I'm 24 right now. I just turned 24 in January. And essentially, back when I was young, I remember getting a bunch of like coloring books and stuff and crayons, and instead of what every normal child should have done, I didn't color in my coloring books at all. I drew in them. And I drew whatever characters I saw on TV, which usually was Pokemon or Digimon or, Spider-Man. And I would also try to copy the images of the coloring books in the back of the pages. So, a lot of tracing, essentially, until I was actually able to remember how to draw something and just, the shapes and all of that. So, I kind of honed on that, especially in middle school. In middle school, I had a bunch of friends that were really great motivators. We all did anime. That was the phase where everybody's like, RAR, XD, I'm emo, that whole phase. That was me. And that was in 2009, 2010. And then in high school, I kind of moved out of the city that I grew up in, and my whole environment changed. And just when high school came, I did meet some friends, but they didn't exactly, it was mild. There was mild influence from them. And from the most part, too, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life for the next 10 years. I remember saying it last time, but I kind of had a really shitty dad. I will talk about that in the future, I promise, but for now, just understand that he was somebody who brainwashed me into thinking that my only option in life was to go and join the military. He was ex-Marine, and he wanted me to join the Marines, so even after, a new change in my life, I still felt like that was going to be a thing. So, I was in ROTC for a while. And then it wasn't until junior year that I actually put myself in art classes and realized it was something that I really wanted to do. I had a knack for it. I could always draw, but this time I was with the big leagues being in AP art, and I wanted to improve. I was back at step 1, and I realized that there was something I wanted to, seek, and it was being a better artist. I had a really great teacher. We'll just call him Mr. B. A lot of other kids did not like him, but to me, I really appreciated him. He was kind of like Mr. Miyagi style, that's the best way I could describe it, where, he's the overbearing, strict, disciplined sensei, and you're the stupid little student who, questions everything, but eventually you get it. And you get that aha moment with his help, and then he's like, you finally see it my way. And to many, that was hell of annoying. To me, though, I worked with it. That was what I got, and I appreciated it for what it was. So, the thing about high school, I was also enrolled in Avid for the majority of it, and I really did not like Avid. Avid is, I don't even remember what the hell it stands for, but it's supposed to be, helping students move on into college and get college credits and that whole thing. It's basically like a connect program from high school into college. So the transition is better for the students. But I got enrolled because of my parents' choice, and then it was very hard for me to get out of, that I kind of just at some point accepted my fate. But the class that I was in, as well as the head coordinator, they paid attention to everybody else, but they didn't realize that what I was doing and what I was doing there was pointless. I would have had a better future a better drive, especially had they realized, oh, she's clearly unhappy here. Let's just pass her to somebody else and let her be somebody else's problem. Because for the most part, I was ignored. It was me and like a few other students, and we all were like the colored-haired, punk rebellious children, and they just kind of let us do our thing. They really didn't care. We even had bad grades, and you would think that that would be enough to get us kicked out. Nope, they didn't care. They're just like, yeah, we have these many avid students. Like, they just wanted us for the head count, for bragging rights. So, that was a thing. So, come the end of high school, I might have to make this a 2-part series. Okay, so, come the end of high school, here's where I was mentally. I had done 2 art classes professionally, and senior year comes, and I'm the eldest. Everybody that I was friends with who were in higher grades had already moved on, and I was left behind. And I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do, because at this point everybody's like, oh, I gotta worry about my senior project, or I can't graduate, or this and that. And I didn't even know what kind of people I would bring with me into the next step of my life. It was just really fucking confusing. Already confusing, too, because, again, I moved away from my hometown and just was thrown to the sharks. So, because of Avid, they basically had this standard for their students to enter a CSU or a UC. Now, I'm in California, so those are, the best of the best. You could almost say college schools. And they're all 4 years. They're universities. And their curriculum is something that's, like, worth mentioning. Now, when I finally realized, I think I kind of want to do art, it was like, fuck. I should have made this decision much sooner, because I haven't built this path towards myself. For me to quickly switch, even if I didn't know what I was doing originally, for me to quickly switch over was a feat in itself. So, I talked to the Avid teacher, and I was like, hey, so what would be the possibility of getting me into an art school? And, they're like, oh, well, it's a very slim chance, this and that. And I applied to 5 different schools, and 4 of them I actually got accepted to. One was a CSU, and one was a university in a different state that was like CSU, but for their state in Montana. And then 2 others were art colleges in California. And, those art colleges even gave me scholarships. But what ended up happening was, they sat me down with me and my parents, and they're like, okay, so your kid got a scholarship. Yay! But this is the amount you gotta pay out of pocket. And it's like, kudos to my parents for raising me. But, like, also, at the earliest age I can remember, like, the most they could afford for me were my clothes. Maybe some art supplies, but that's it. So, essentially, I got a bomb dropped on me and was told, oh, this is too expensive. It's not just the school is expensive. To send me off on my own as an adult, when I don't even have a license, I don't know how to drive a car, I have no job experience, to send me to some place far away from my family, when I'm already unsure of myself, was an expensive and even riskful process. And I had some family who wanted me to do it. I think they were kind of upset I didn't take the opportunity, because, like, they offered to help pay for it, but, like, that's not something I was willing to do. I was not willing to let family slave away for me to be, like, somewhere else when I'm not even so sure of it. And it's probably a good thing I did. So here's what ended up happening after that. I graduated 2014, and because that is what happened with the options of the colleges, I didn't take any of them. Instead, I just took a year off, got a job at a grocery store. It was my first job, too, and it was nearby, walkable distance. And then that year, enrolled myself later into the nearest community college. And I was in that since last year. So, it was tough. Like, I'm only recently deciding, hey, I'm tired of people deciding for me. I'm tired of letting myself be in these situations where I just was dropped in there and I settled for it. Nah, not anymore, man. So that is, what are we at? 10 minutes. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Let's keep going. Here's part 2. So take a break, take a breather, pause the video if you want. Okay, you back? Good. So, part 2. Part 2 is what I did in college. Essentially, when I was in my community college, I was doing back and forth at 2 different campuses because they were sister campuses. So I did some classes at one campus, and then the next semester some classes at the other campus. And honestly, I learned a lot. My first year, not so much. I think I took a ceramics class, and I had some little boy bully me and shit, even though, like, I'm older than him. And it was a gradual step-to-step process. In that time period, I became a secretary for an art club. I started vending my art at local, vending opportunities, craft fairs, etc., swap meets. Oh my god, I forgot. I did a few painting sessions where I just had a bunch of people come and I gave them the supplies and we all did a painting session in the park. I did that a couple of times. I even had a young girl in my neighborhood have her parents pay me to, give her private art lessons. And then on top of that, I, just was always receiving commissions, even if they weren't very good commissions, And I also got better at digital art. I had no skill in digital art whatsoever when I finished high school, but that here I am now, and, I worked hard over those years to do that. So, from beginning to end, it was a very gradual, small process. And a lot of it I was completely unsure of. I had some family who were like, yeah, you're an artist, here's a sketchbook, for Christmas or something. Or, yeah, you're an artist. I have this one family member who was always telling me I should go to Hollywood and show off my work. So, that is the extent of the support I received, but not the best kind. If I could have had anything different, I do wish that they could have enrolled me in better art classes sooner, gotten me the books and the resources to learn things on my own time, and let me do things on my own schedule. But life got in the way. So, there's that. As of right now, I'm really good at digital art. I'm actually very good in acrylic painting, and I am still really good at dabbling in other things, such as needle felting, sculpture. I'm gonna get into wood burning soon. I still have this passion to try new things. I don't know how to say it. Watercolor, ink, colored pencil. I learned all of that. And, the things I do approve of that I did was taking the cheap route and doing community college, because none of that came out of pocket, as opposed to doing art college. I still have a few people who I know did art college, and they completely dropped out because it was too stressful. The thing about art college, actual private art schools, is that they kind of take your individuality away from you. And they make you freak the fuck out so much. I heard how stressful it is to keep up with their quota. It's tough. I think I would have hated art had I went that route. So it's a good thing I did what I did now. So yeah, that is my artist journey. I'm not upset about it. I'm pretty proud of it, and it took a lot of trial and error. I met a lot of really good people along the way to kind of help guide me. Not directly. It was more like I learned from their mistakes, and I learned what worked for them and what didn't, but definitely a good pointers. So, my biggest advice is that if you have something that you want to do, you have something that you want to achieve, and you have a huge passion about it, you'll do everything in your power to find out how to achieve that goal, A few years ago, I was like, how do I get this? How do I learn this? And my only option, my only resource I thought I had was to go to school for it. Well, now, it's like, dude, I probably could have done things a lot easier. I probably could have gone to my local library like I'm doing now, and went out of my way to find the books and the tools necessary to learn. Anything is possible. You don't even really need to take an educational route at things. It's just figuring out what works for you. So, thanks for watching again, guys. Really appreciate it. And, again, I am recording these in the past, so when these get uploaded, they'll be in the future in March. That said, we will now have a better schedule where I am uploading videos every Tuesday and Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks again. Bye!